for the first half hour, we'll be running the Periscope, and then once we start doing our interviews, you can get on YouTube. So, hey, everyone on YouTube, we're live streaming our launch day. Happy launch day, everyone. We're really excited. We're here at Warrior HQ, and we're glad to bring you our Warrior Q&A for the Dynasty launch. I'm here with my boy DT. DT, what's up?
Hey Keith, how's it going?
Hey!
Hi.
They can hear you.
They can hear me, but they cannot see me.
I know, this is this might be a complete train wreck. This is going to be crazy. But basically what we wanted to do for launch day is we wanted to answer any questions that you guys might have about the new Dynasty HD line of sticks. We're here to, you can ask us questions using hashtag DynastyQA on Instagram or Twitter. Also, we're going to have some special guests. We'll have a visit with our lead engineer, Isaac, who works at our design lab in San Diego, California. And we'll also be visited by Chris Jenkinson, who's our product manager for both sticks and helmets. Today, not only is the Dynasty HD launch day, but it's also the Krown PX3 launch day, so a new helmet, which is, again, another big thing for us, another big day. So Chris will be nice enough to sit down with us and chat with you guys through YouTube about the ideas that went through the PX3, the improvements that we made on the PX3 for the Krown, and also, you know, some of the benefits and the fit, and also what's different about it, so that maybe you guys can go down to the stores and check them out and try them on and feel what the new helmet is. It feels great, right? DT, you got one, didn't you?
I do have a PX3, and I wore it for the first time Wednesday night, and I love it. It's very comfortable. Truth be told, I could not wear the previous two incarnations of our helmet.
Oh, wow.
My head is a funny shape.
Okay.
My head is funny shape. That's why I couldn't wear it. My head is, I'm not showing you people for a reason. But my head is funny shaped. So the PX3 is the first Warrior helmet that has fit me, and it fits me well. It's
Good.
Very comfortable, no headaches, easy to adjust with the 4-plate dial. And I jumped right in. I literally slapped my visor on it an hour before I went on the ice, and off I went.
Well, there you go. That's a ringing endorsement by one DT.
Yeah, it's great. I couldn't be happier so far.
Well, that's good to hear. So you guys will hear more about that, more about the PX3 helmet later in the show, later in the broadcast. But first, really, we have to talk about the big launch, Dynasty HD, and it's been a build-up for the last couple months. As you guys may know or may not know, we seeded the Dynasty the Dynasty stick 2 months ago with a lot of local hockey players to, let's say, your area. So players all around North America got the stick to try out, a select few. And we chose those VIPs based on the fact that they could generate a lot of buzz for us in the market before the product came on launch day today. So what we were hoping for was for word of mouth from these VIPs to tell their teammates. Some of the VIPs were store employees at your local hockey shop. And the VIPs were to use the sticks and really get used to it and feel it and be able to speak about the stick intelligently whenever we have today. So when a player walks into a store, or if a buddy goes into a store, our VIPs will be able to sell the stick for us. They know we can talk all day long about the technology of the stick like hyperdrive, but really it's talking to your teammates or talking to someone in the store that's going to tell you that the stick works or it doesn't work or it doesn't do what they say it's going to do. That's the ultimate test. So word of mouth is really important, and that's what the VIPs provided for us. So that's, you know, we talked about the VIP program extensively in the last few weeks. I know that, you know, there were a lot of VIPs that really pushed the product and really got the product on the ice and gave us some really great feedback. So far, I mean, we've heard nothing but positive commentary about the way Dynasty works, the way the hyperdrive works in the stick, and we'll get into a little bit of the details about that and the general technology about it. But we just kept hearing that it's really working, and it works really well. And we really love the feel of the stick, and the weight is great, and the balance is great. So these are all ringing endorsements from people that are real hockey players that really know product as well. And so, you know, I don't think there's any better way than to have someone tell you that the product actually works. So the VIP program has been really great for us. You know, a lot of people have been talking to us as well. You know, today being launch day, we had a nice little thing happen for us in social media. We had Erik Karlsson, who is the face of our campaign. He tweeted out some information on the stick, and he got the word, and he started to spread the word for us. Erik Karlsson, obviously, if you guys haven't seen anything or have been following us on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, is the face of the Dynasty campaign. And we've been promoting him pretty heavily. And we've heard some comments, right, DT? Some kids have gotten on social media, and they're saying, like, what is this, a Ottawa Senators Instagram account or something, or Erik Karlsson Instagram account? Well, in a way it is. In the last 3 weeks at least, we've really been pushing Erik Karlsson, and why not? I mean, doesn't it make sense? Like, he's obviously this year the best defenseman in the NHL. He got the award, the Norris Trophy, and he's generally a pretty cool guy. He's a good player. He has amazing hair. Ladies love him. The guys love him too because they want to play like him. And I mean, he just, you know, having met him at our photo shoot and our video shoot, when we got all the assets for the video and the photos that we've been showing you guys, that guy is cool, like the purest form of cool. He walked into the rink and just, it looked like he was floating. It didn't even look like he was walking. And he just got into his skates and got out there with the kids and was skating around, and the flow was flying, and he was motoring. Like, he'd take 3 steps and he was gone.
Yeah, Erik has a presence.
He does. He really does. Like, the minute he walked into the room where we had him, he sat down and he's like, "Oh, where do you want me to put the skates?" "Oh, well, we kept the kids separate. Like, oh, the kids are downstairs in the locker room. You just hang out here." He's like, No. I'll just go sit with the. Oh, no. They're in the locker room downstairs, Erik. Don't worry about it. Oh, no. I'll just go downstairs. I'll go sit in the locker room with them. So Erik Karlsson rolls into the room, and all the guys in the room, all the young men in the room, we're all like chit-chatting and talking, and then all of a sudden Karlsson rolls in and he sits down, and it was like,
Erik's just like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He's like, "Hey boys, how's it going?"
Jaws on the floor.
Oh, just
mouths wide open.
So he sat down and he was talking to us about what we were going to do and how the the video shoot was going to go and the photography and that kind of. We were giving him the rundown, and I paused a little to look around at the guys, and it was stone quiet in the room, and every guy was staring, just staring at Erik. So it was really cool. It was really cool to see, and he's like super cool. So we were really thankful to Erik for doing the video. And I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but go on our YouTube channel, which you should, and click on the video link for the Erik Karlsson Power Unleashed video. It came out great, and we're really happy with it. And he's happy with it too. He loves the video.
Yeah, and a little behind the scenes here. Can you share with us what the craft table looked like, the food table looked like at the Erik Karlsson video shoot? It was interesting to say the least. It
was a very interesting. I took a picture of it. That's why DT knows about it. I took a picture of it and I sent it to DT. It was a morning video shoot, and our director was also from Sweden. He's also Swedish, so it was perfect. Like, it was a perfect tie-in. So our director said, "Don't worry about the comfort room. Don't worry about Karlsson's dressing room. I'll handle all the food." So we said, "Okay, no problem." So I walk in, and there's like dried fish. I don't know if it was like salmon or something. Apparently, like in Sweden, the kids eat fish in the morning, like smoked salmon or salmon paste. It was like salmon paste, I think it was. Yeah. And they had it's like crackers, and a tube. It was in a tube. It was in like an old school like aluminum, like.
Oh man, sounds great.
Toothpaste tube, yeah. And he just like poured it out on the cracker and then ate it.
Yeah.
It was like smoked roe, I think it was, like eggs, fish eggs.
Well,
So, but hey, if it makes him skate like that, then who cares, right? Like that's what he does. So anyway, I think we're going off the rails a little bit. We're talking about
hey, it's just like our podcast.
yeah, we're talking about fish eggs. Now it's like the podcast, but with a video version. You get to stare at my ugly face. But anyway, but we want to get back to the Dynasty launch, and as you can tell, we're really excited. We're really excited about this launch. We know the product, and we've known about the product for like the last at least 6 months to a year from when we were like channeling it. So we know that the product is ready. We know that we hope that the kids out there are ready to receive it, and it's ready to go. So let me walk you through a little bit of kind of maybe a short rundown of the Dynasty HD line, just to give you guys just a general overview. So let me reach back here and grab some of these sticks. All right. So this is the Dynasty HD1, as you can see here. So this is the Dynasty HD1, and I'll just walk you through like the main features of the stick first, and then maybe we can get some Q&A through it if anyone out there is watching or cares right now. No, I'm just kidding. Just send us your questions and we'll answer them as we're going through the stick. So this is the Dynasty HD1, and the real focus on the Dynasty HD1 was to focus in on generating the most power and most velocity possible out of a hockey stick. And the way our engineers identified that was by really maximizing the amount of flex. Because if you add more flex into a stick and get more flex out of your stick, you're going to add much more power to your shot because you're generating that much more potential energy in the stick. So if you look at the stick right here, you'll see this little red zone in the middle. It's called our hyperdrive kick zone. And the way that works is it's a 14-inch span in the middle of the stick where our engineers used stretch fibers through this area to really maximize the amount of flex that you can get out of your stick. What that means is that, for the most part, when a hockey player plays, their hand is in this general area of the stick, like in this zone is what we call it. And when the power is transferred to the stick, that power comes from this area when a player is trying to flex their stick. This is where the flex comes from, not necessarily your top hand, but really it comes from your bottom hand. So what we were trying to do, and our engineers said, was let's maximize the amount of flex you can get out of this zone. So no matter if you use a 85 flex or a 100 flex or a 55 flex or a 70 flex, you are going to get the maximum flex out of your stick. There's a lot of players out there that might use a flex that's not really proper for them. We see a lot of kids out there that use a 70 or a 75, and they're not really big enough to get a lot of flex out of it. That doesn't solve that problem. You still need to use the right flex for your size and your ability, but what it does do is it maximizes whatever you already do. So, for example, if you're already using a so-called mid-kick stick on the market right now, our stick will give you 10% more energy transfer out of it. So let's say you were using a competitor's 85 flex stick and you used this HD1 85 flex stick, you're going to get 10% more out of this stick than you would have out of the stick you were already using. And that has everything to do with this hyperdrive flex zone. It's very easy to flex. Another thing that we made sure was that you could really feel it when you're using it. It's not mumbo jumbo. We don't just say that it's a mid-kick stick and that your hand will flex or the stick will flex wherever your hand is. That's just a really lazy excuse for saying that there's no flex point in the stick. So with ours, we're telling you it's in this zone, and so when you actually flex this stick, and we've actually heard this from a lot of our VIPs, when they flex the stick, they can feel it. They can really feel that the stick is flexing more and that they're getting more out of it. So that's the main technology of the HD. Now, a secondary technology, but that is also very important, is when you get down to this area in the stick here. Through this area here, we call it our strong arm technology. And, you know, we don't put much effort or much emphasis on strong arm technology, only because it's more of a secondary technology that really helps the HD technology. But strong arm is very important for something that you don't necessarily feel all the time, which is accuracy. What strong arm does is it's a superstructure that's built up in this area right here that actually, you can actually feel it. It actually gets larger through this area right here. And so this larger area, or this superstructure that's built out of composite, will actually help to hold your blade more straight or more firm as you're shooting. So there's a lot of players out there, and especially pros that we work with, when they're shooting with a puck and a blade, they find that the blade opens up and twists open, and then that really affects your accuracy in shooting. Our pros generate a ton of power without much effort. And so what ends up happening is they don't really need the help of, let's say, this hyperdrive flex zone right here. They need more accuracy control and blade control. So that's where the technology came from for strong arm. Now, one of the side benefits of the strong arm technology is that since it does stiffen up this area quite a bit, it actually helps to intensify this hyperdrive kick zone. So the feel of the stick, because this area is stiffer, you actually feel like it flexes more in this area. So that's why we're saying, and we're seeing also with VIP feedback, that once you get this stick on the ice, once you start shooting around with it, you will feel the power of the stick. You will feel how this power will generate more potential energy into the puck. So that's kind of a little bit of the rundown on the HD1. There's a lot of other, more detailed things, and maybe if you guys want to ask some questions about it, some value-added features like 12K fiber all throughout the entire stick, the entire length of the stick, so you can see that there. These are features that, they look good, for one. But the other thing, the thing about 12K and the fact that we're using all the same material throughout the entire length of the stick is it also adds a lot of consistency in the feel of the stick. One of the things we don't really talk about is the technology in our composite material. It's 100% thermoset, carbon thermoset. And the way that works is the carbon fibers in the stick are soaked in epoxy material to help the bonding process so that the fibers bond better together. Now, that sounds very scientific and very detailed, and really, for most people, they don't really care about that thing. They just want to know what it does for you. Well, I'll tell you what it does for you, because that's really what's important. It gives you a much better feel for the stick. It gives you more durability on the stick, so it really avoids getting all those little cuts and little micro fissures or little cracks in the stick when you get slashed and block a shot and things like that. So really, it's all about durability. Another thing is we're using a lot of the raw materials that we used on our covert sticks, so H7 fibers and the corner reinforcements. So those are all things that help with the durability of our sticks from slashing, and also the feel and also the weight. Another big feature that we don't talk about nearly enough is that this product is made in our factory in Mexico. It's our own factory that we own. So we control the quality control, we control the materials that are going into the factory. We source all of our material from the United States. So that makes it much easier to control a lot of the things that can go wrong with a composite stick when you use bad material or you have bad processes. The composite stick manufacturing process is very complex, and so you have to really pay attention to it and really control it. So that's another benefit that Warrior brings, is that we have our own factory. And in fact, it's the same factory that builds all of the sticks that we sell to the NHL. So, we have over 120 players in the NHL using Warrior sticks, and every single one of those sticks is built in our factory in Mexico. So that same factory builds this stick that you can buy on the shelves at your local Warrior dealer. I think that makes a big difference too. You know that the quality of the stick and the quality of the materials are the same as what we use in our pro line and for our pro sticks. So that's another nice feature set for the Dynasty. Check it out. Go in the stores, pick it up, and I'm pretty sure that you won't be disappointed. How are we on time, Mr. DT?
We're good.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just talking. I sound like I sound like the ShamWow guy right now.
That's okay. You know, hey, if at least you're not selling the chop clap or whatever the heck, the slap chop or whatever it was.
Slap chop?
The slap chop.
I actually have one of those at home.
I don't know if we want to continue here with 6, but it looks like we've got.
Do we have our first guest?
We have our first guest ready to go if he is indeed ready.
Yeah. Let's do it.
We want to talk a little helmet here.
Is he there?
He's there. Let me,
Is he live? Is he in charge?
He should be. Chris?
Chris, are you there? I see him.
I see him as well, but
oh, there he is. Holy crap! Is that a Gretzky stick?
I think we're having a little bit of an audio issue here with Chris.
Are we having an audio issue with Chris? Chris, is your microphone working?
I don't believe Chris's microphone is working.
Oh.
All right.
So he's putting his microphone in. Okay, let me continue talking about the stick here while Chris gets his microphone on. Okay. So next up is the HD Pro. So, you know, we've had a lot of questions on social media, right, DT, about what the HD Pro is and what does it mean? What does it even mean? What's its reason for being? Why do we even sell an HD Pro? Well, I'm here to tell you right now. The HD Pro is also built in our factory in Mexico. It comes off of our Pro line there, just like the HD1 does. The only difference is that the technology is the same, but what we do is we turn the materials or change the materials slightly to add a little bit more durability to this stick. This product is the stick that we use for a lot of our CHL teams, teams like Gatineau Olympique, Windsor Spitfires, Lethbridge Hurricanes. We have stick programs with those CHL teams where we are the official supplier to those teams, and those teams use a stick. But the difference is that those teams have slightly smaller stick budgets than, say, our NHL teams that we service. So what does that mean to the player? Well, a CHL player, as everyone out there knows, is still a very high-level player that's looking for a high-performing stick. So we can't really jack around with the performance of the stick, but we do need to add a little bit of durability to it. So what you'll see on the HD Pro stick is it actually has an extra wrap of a protective material on it, a composite material, an extra wrap of composite. And so what that does is it helps the stick be a little bit more durable on impact strength. But what it does is it adds a little bit of weight, but it adds weight throughout the entire stick. So you don't necessarily, like when you pick it up, feel it like, oh my goodness, it's so much heavier. And plus, it's really only adding about 15 to 20 grams to it. So it's pretty minimal considering the full length and the full weight of the stick. Other than that, the HD Pro still has the hyperdrive technology through this area right here. That 14-inch span where it's really going to flex a lot more for you. It has the strong arm technology through this down in this area here. Same blade that the HD1 has. So it has all those same features that the HD1 has, but for a little lower cost and a slightly bit more weight. But you do get the benefits of durability out of it. So the HD Pro is, like I said, the model that we sell to a lot of our CHL and NCAA teams. But we make it available as well to retail. So if you run down to your Warrior dealer, you can see the HD Pros in their stores. It's a really good looking stick. Looks very similar to the HD1, but of course you can see that it has that extra layer of wrap and it's painted black. So it doesn't have that 12K fiber look to it. How's Chris doing? Is he back?
We're still trying to get him reconnected here. There seemed to be a little bit of a problem.
Okay.
So hopefully he'll be back with us very soon here.
Okay, no problem.
You're doing great. Hang
on. Thank you. Hang in there, bud. Hang in there. I feel like I'm at the telethon now. I'm at the Jerry Lewis telethon. Just keep going. Just keep going.
You're doing great. Just keep going.
We got all night.
But we're not asking anyone to call and donate.
Oh, they can call. Are we taking calls?
We're taking questions if anyone would like to ask questions. on the Google Hangout
Should've
screen,
won.
you can go ahead and use the Q&A function, and we'll try to answer your
Oh
question.
yeah, that'll be cool.
If we can.
If we get a question, it's going to be like a celebration. In
Well,
here.
we do have a question. It's about the PX3.
Oh, we have a question.
We do.
Oh, but it's about the helmet.
It's about the helmet.
All right, we better wait for Chris because I don't think I can answer questions.
We'll get there.
All right, so next up is the HD1 Junior here. I kind of skipped over it, but there are some features about the HD1 Junior that I want to talk about. You know, not a lot of people pay attention to the Junior, but we certainly find that our Junior sticks, our youth sticks, as well as our tyke sticks, we put a lot of attention into what we put into those sticks, mostly based on the construction and mostly based on the flex. We know that for junior players, it's very important for these little guys to get the proper flexing sticks as well as the right curves and blade options, proper lie for them. So we pay very close attention to our junior product or our kids product. Right here, the HD1 Junior has a ton of features in it. It's super lightweight, very well balanced. It's got that 12K fiber all throughout. It still has that enhanced HD, that hyperdrive mid-kick zone right through here. So, you know, we don't talk about it often. We usually, you know, concentrate on senior sticks. But HD for a little guy, for juniors, youth, and tyke, but more maybe juniors and intermediate users, that is a really important technology. It's a really good technology for those little guys because kids are getting into the point where they're starting to learn how to load their stick and learn how to get flex out of their stick. Well, having that little extra help through the middle, that 5% extra flex that they can get out of the stick, really will help these young hockey players out there get the most out of their product. So again, that's another nice benefit to the HD line is that when a kid uses it, you know, it's a game improvement type of technology where it's going to help you get more flex out of the stick. And that's certainly something, and there's a lot of coaches out there and a lot of dads and moms that see their kids flexing the sticks and not getting that much flex out of it. Well, this HD technology does help with that. So this is the HD1. We also offer it in multiple flexes. So if you look at in the Junior, we offer it in 50 flex and 40 flex. And then when you get to youth, that's when we offer it in 30 flex. And then when you get to tyke, we offer it in 20 flex. So that's really a very nice range of flexes. As a child is growing up and growing up with Warrior, they can get those separate flexes as they go from that step up. So that's really a nice feature that we offer. And from my knowledge, not many other companies offer that nice step-up flex. So it gives the opportunity for a lot of kids to really step up their game as they're moving up with us as they get older. So that's the HD1 Junior. Oh, is that Isaac? Isaac is on.
Yes, I am.
Oh, this is fun. This is like, it's like I'm at home and I'm getting visitors.
Am I supposed to be on?
Yes. So is his video on too? Are the viewers seeing his video, DT? That's wonderful. So Isaac, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Let me introduce Isaac. Isaac is our our lead engineer. He's a lead designer, lead product designer for hockey sticks. He's been in the industry for, God, Isaac, how long has it been? Like 20 years?
Almost 20 years.
Holy mackerel. That's a long time. So Isaac has been in the hockey stick, let's think about this, the hockey composite stick industry for almost 20 years. When you think about that, Isaac has basically been on the front lines of developing hockey sticks for every major development in hockey stick in composites, right, Isaac? Like blades and shafts and...
Back from the beginning days when you just had Fontaine that was making composite shafts and aluminum, you know, when aluminum was still actually the craze, and seeing that turned into composite shafts, and then the invention of blades, and then the invention of one-piece sticks, and all the way through. So that's what I've been doing since 90. Actually, I originally started in '96, so coming up on 20 years.
Unbelievable. So imagine everyone out there, like we have a guy that's been there through all the different major implementations of composite in the hockey stick game. I mean, he's been there, let's say it. I mean, he's been there from ground zero, from the beginning. So Isaac has all this experience in composite technology. Isaac has been on the lead for Warrior since the beginning of Warrior, when Warrior bought Innovative. And he's really been on the lead for all the major technologies that we've come out with. And more importantly, like now, if we're talking about it, you know, recently a lot of people know about dagger taper and the technology that we have with the QR stick. Isaac was the originator of all those technologies, right, Isaac?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, they all originated here. I mean, me and a team of guys basically working on these products all the way through. The ones that specifically dagger taper and, you know, right now with the hyperdrive, these are all things that originated from, you know, our brainstorm meetings and, you know, really from my desk, and conceptualizing this based on research that we've done with players and just in studying the game and studying how sticks work and how shooting works and what players really want.
That's great. So before we continue forward a little bit, DT, I just want to make sure that when Isaac is speaking, that our viewers are seeing Isaac's video feed. Is that good? Okay, good. Sorry. I just had a technical question there. So we'll continue with our discussion, Isaac. I just want to make sure that people saw you, because you're in the lab, right, in San Diego. Like you're in where the magic happens, right? So can you describe a little bit about our lab in San Diego and like the work that goes on down there?
The lab here is it's a small team of guys that mostly it's design, development, and testing. We've got easily 5,000 sticks in various stages of development, or broken, or, you know, most of them are our sticks. We've got a lot of competitor sticks, so we do all the testing and processing of you know, the many ideas that we're working on. So we've got a lot of different projects at various stages, and we're working on some different improvements. Hopefully some of those will turn into enhancements that actually help players on the ice and can help us actually improve the game. That's our ultimate goal. So those are the things that we conceptualize and develop here in our office in San Diego. We also do a lot of pro customization work here. So although the sticks aren't made here, me and the team of guys here spend a lot of time really analyzing players' needs and requests, and trying to, you know, fit our features to better suit what they're looking for. And then also, you know, I'll always try and make them a little bit lighter, a little bit stronger, a little more durable, more reliable, more consistent. You know, our goals are kind of range across those things. So that's really what we do here in San Diego. It's a really short trip down to Mexico, where the factory is, so we've got quick access to the floor. We got a great idea. We want to try something out, and we can go down there, make a 20-minute drive, and fabricate something, and see if we can get it to work. So that's really what we focus on here.
We're not going to give away the address of our lab in San Diego, because we don't want anyone coming over to the lab and stealing all of our sticks. No, not that anyone would do that. I'm just saying that just to be funny. But it is. I've been to the lab a few times, and it's certainly something impressive to see. The amount of work that goes into deconstructing competitor sticks, or deconstructing our own sticks, and finding out about the durability and those kinds of things. It really does help. It really, I mean, the amount of work that goes into that and the amount of detail that goes into it is pretty impressive. Now, yep. Isaac, let's kind of kick it off a little bit with the concept of the the concept of the HD, the Dynasty HD, and walk us through a little bit about what the goals were with the project, and really how it got kicked off.
Yeah, the goals are really, the real heart of it is, how do you get more power out of the stick? How do you get more energy into the stick and then out of the stick? And a lot of the early work came from some research that we had done with the university, as well as some previous research that's been done through the years by people outside of Warrior. A lot of sticks have been studied quite a bit over the years, especially through a lot of Canadian universities. And there's a direct relation to how far you can get the stick to bend, how much loading you can get into the stick, and where that is in the stick, and then how that affects the ultimate speed of the shot. So that was really the beginning of tackling this problem, trying to figure out multiple ways to enhance that in any way that we could, and then also staying within that feel of a mid-kick stick. So after some study and some some different trial and error projects and some statistical analysis of player data that we're collecting on the ice, we could determine that using a mid-kick profile and then enhancing the way that the kick point actually worked and where it was something that sticks weren't doing. The no stick had really been designed and developed to work in that way. So that's how we arrived at this feature where we were able to concentrate that performance in a specific location within a mid-kick stick that still it still feels the way it should, the way a player expects it to, when that guy is used to a mid-kick kind of feel and that type of release, but still allow him to get more energy out of that shot.
So let me back you up a little bit there. You said something that's very interesting to me, that you tested and you looked at other sticks that were on the market already that were deemed mid-kick stick or called a mid-kick stick. I don't know the exact words that you used. I think I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but you found out that they weren't really that. Is that right. True?
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit. Like, what does that mean?
Even the sticks that we've made that have been traditional mid-kick sticks, they lack an actual kick point feature, meaning there is no defined area of the stick where the stick flexes more. That's something that mid-kick sticks don't have, as opposed to a low-kick stick where it's very common for us to engineer in a spot where it's going to be a little more flexible so that you do get that kick and that response that you're looking for. So in a mid-kick stick, that didn't exist. So it's a complicated feature because if it kicks too much in the middle, it's going to break there because that's where your hands are. That's where the force is applied. So there's some trade-off there with what you can really do. So yeah, studying those features that were out there in the marketplace and studying where we had come from and different attempts that we've made were really the heart of the exploration that led us to kind of close in on that design envelope so that we could determine how we could enhance that kick point without changing the way the stick feels.
Yeah, because that's you brought up a really good point when you explained it to me originally, where since your hand is right there where you're putting the flex, you have to be careful with how much because we're trying to generate more flex out of the stick, but you also have to be careful not to just make it like really soft where your hand will just push right through the stick, right?
Yeah, like a low kick stick, they tend to be pretty soft out at the tip, in the last third of the stick. It could be anywhere from 20 to 30% softer than the middle. So with this feature like this, we can't take an area in the middle of the stick and just make it 20% softer. It would break. So we had to go, tread into that a lot more lightly and really define what that envelope was and where, at what range do we still get a reaction that players like, but that we're not harming the stick strength in any way. So that was where, once we knew what we wanted to do in terms of performance and how it shot, then our challenge was to figure out how do we do this without weakening the stick, and that's what we have in hyperdrive.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about hyperdrive. Can you explain? You mentioned that you had to make that flex zone concentrated in the middle, but like a guy like me, how do you do that? Like, do you move some things around? Do you put like special? Is it a special material in the middle there? Like it's a different kind of material? Like how are you able to really control that flex area and also really just focus in on that spot?
Well, composite sticks are made of a lot of different layers. So the way that each layer is designed, the way that they work together, and the order that they're in, gives us the flexibility to change the way that the stick behaves. So it's not necessarily a new revolutionary material that gets used in the stick. It's more of a combination of choosing the right materials in the right place, and then adjusting the layup and the fiber design so that we're getting the flexibility in that one area. So it's part of it is engineered materials that we currently use and applying them in a new way. Part of it is geometric in terms of how that cross section looks, and then part of it is the sequencing of the plies. In any given area of the stick, the layers are 20 pieces thick. So we got a lot of room to play with the design and really play with those features.
So when in certain areas in the stick, there's actually 20 layers of carbon material in those areas?
For sure, for sure.
Wow, and then each layer is it, how are they bonded? Like are they laid up together and then they get like molded together?
Yeah,
is that how it works?
It's different for different sticks, but you think of each layer has its own job. Every layer that goes on the stick is designed, is either to control the twisting action, or how much bending is occurring, or it can have to do with preventing it from buckling, or it could be something that's carrying load so that it can release the flex properly. So each of those layers has its own job, and so even though they're different layers, they're all made out of carbon fiber and resin, and those resins all stick together when we lay them up. They're all laid on individually. It's rolled on there in a pretty manual process, and under heat and pressure, all those things bond together. We get all the air out of the laminate, and that's what allows it to work together as one kind of homogeneous unit.
That's amazing. So taking all those different layers and taking all those different layups within the stick, there's got to be so many different possibilities as you go throughout the entire length of the stick, and then even into the blade. There's all kinds of possibilities on what you can do as far as the layup goes and where you control that flex, right?
Sure. No, there certainly is. There's endless combinations, but at the end of the day, it's still a hockey stick, and we still have to have it pass a certain amount of strength criteria, durability, impact. It still has to feel and balance the way that we want it to, so it feels responsive and that you get a nice crisp connection with the puck. So staying within that envelope and then also still introducing new features is certainly complicated, and that's where most of our research is focused, is how do we do that, still maintain the character and the fabric of what really we want that stick to feel like.
So you mentioned feel a lot. There's a lot that we can do in the way that you design a stick. Or let's say you have this great idea and this bright idea about generating more power out of the stick, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of on-ice testing that goes on to make sure that players actually like the feeling of it, right? Like that's something that might work on a concept or in the drawing board itself, as they say. It may not work in real life. Does that happen a lot with hockey sticks?
Yeah, it happens less now than it used to. We've gotten a lot more sophisticated in our testing equipment and our lab analysis of sticks, so that at this point, a stick won't even go on the ice until we have a pretty good idea, just from the static testing that we've done, that it's going to pass all of our testing, and then also that it has the performance features that feel good for that particular level of stick. So we do a lot of strenuous testing at every stage, but when you get to the end of it, you still got to put it on the ice. Like you said, get that feel feedback, especially when we're comparing shades of gray. You've got 3 different versions. You want to see which one performs the best, and you want to see which players prioritize them in what order, because players vary. There are a lot of different styles. How does it work for snapshots? How does it work for standing snapshots versus moving? These are all things that have to be considered. So there's so many different types of shots, so many different types of players. We don't just look at shooting. We're looking at how the stick feels when you're taking and receiving and giving the passes. The feel comes into play in so many different ways that the only way to get that is really on the ice with guys that we trust and that have good exposure and are articulate and can really convey to us their feedback. And then we have to go back, like you said, to the drawing board and turn that into some engineering feedback that we can implement and actually act on in the stick.
So we've had a lot of feedback from our VIPs. We placed all those sticks early on with our VIP program throughout North America. I was talking a little bit about it during the telecast here. What we kept hearing from these VIPs when they first got the stick is, wow, I can really feel hyperdrive. That was the first thing that they said. But then the other thing that they said too is that they said that the stick had a great feel. The puck feel on the blade and the release, and when they're receiving passes and when they're stick handling, the balance, those are the 3 major things that we've heard. Number 1 are the technology they could feel. Number 2, the blade feel and the puck feel, and then number 3, the release and the balance of it. Can you give me a little bit of insight on, it's really hard to gauge feel for a player, but what are some of the things that we do in our blades that help the feeling of our stick and the balance of our stick?
Well, I can't give everything away, but it's. I know it's. I mean, with a stick like the HD1, where you've got a premium stick, we're really able to take the best materials and the best design and apply it. We get the most freedom to amplify most of those characteristics that you just mentioned. It's a system, you know. It's a network of different features. They balance the way it balances. Where the mass is concentrated in the stick, and then how the kick point is distributed, how the flex profile, where it's stiff and where it's soft. All of those things actually work together. So if we can't just tune one of those knobs individually and see a change in the way the stick, or implement a change that would be favorable. So we have to balance those things all together. It's kind of a harmony that goes on, as it were, and you know, by adjusting it within that system and as a network, we're able to really bring the most out of those features. So, but a lot of it is where the stiffness is and how those. We look at the stiffness in each area of the stick. We can actually measure it in very small increments, all the way up and down the stick and across the blade. So we look at how that relates to the way that it's balanced in terms of weight. And we tune those things to work together so that it feels the best. And in the way that we turn that into construction methods that get us there, that's a whole other level of engineering that really speaks to the team that down in Mexico, where we make these sticks, and you know, the R&D that goes into that.
So it's not necessarily just like, oh, I got to think about the blade and the weight of the blade, or I got to think about the shot. Like, it's everything all together. You got to think about the whole system all together, right?
Yeah, you change one thing and everything else changes too. So, you know, if you can really unbalance the system and end up with a product that feels strange. And it's not something that players can readily put their finger on, but good players know. They pick it up and they're like, I don't know what's wrong with this stick, but I can't shoot with it.
Yeah.
And that is common. So that's where the balance of those attributes really comes into play.
And I think there's a lot of players out in the market that know that. Like, there's a lot of players out there that we've even encountered that when they pick up a stick and they start shooting with it, and they can't shoot with it, or there's something wrong with it. Like, they don't know what it is, but they can right away they can tell us, oh well, there's just nothing. There's something wrong with this. And we have found, you know, the first stick that I found that we had a lot of people come back to us with extremely positive review was the QR. You know, kids got out on the ice with the QR and they started shooting with it, and they're like, wow, I can really feel this technology, or wow, I can really feel the puck on my blade, and the feeling, like my hand feel when I'm stick handling is really good. And then now we're also hearing it again with the HD. So I don't know what you guys are doing with the formula down there in San Diego, or how you guys are tuning those knobs, like you said. But the tuning is doing very well right now, because we've been hearing nothing but good things, good feedback from the feel of the stick as a whole, as you said you've designed. Let's switch gears a little bit now into, you know, there's a lot of, everyone always talks about the HD1, everyone always talks about the top-end model, but today on launch day, we are launching an entire line of products. So the HD1, the HD Pro, the HD3, 4, and 5. We at Warrior are proud to say that when we launch a product, or launch a line of product, that we share that technology throughout the entire line of that product. So can you talk, I gave a little bit of a rundown on HD1 and HD Pro. Can you talk a little bit about the HD3 and some of the good features that you start seeing as you go down the line in the product?
Well, the hyperdrive is something that, like you said, we really try to infuse that to the fullest where we can. And as you go down the line, it really becomes about maintaining the integrity of the stick and having the best balance and the best flex profile that you can. Because as the sticks get heavier, it becomes more of a challenge to where you can really distribute that weight so that you don't lose that crisp feeling and it doesn't feel like it's off balance or like a log. So at that level, it's the HD3. The stick it's very strong. The impact strength is among the highest in the marketplace. So you got better impact strength. really high bend strength, so the durability is going to really be noticeable. It'll last a very long time, especially in the blade where we've got supreme toughness, and there's a lot of material changes that go into that. The HD3 and the HD Pro, both of those are, well, the HD Pro especially is a stick that's very important at a team level where they're really getting the bang for your buck at that price. So you're getting a lightweight stick, but it's not that feather light feeling. But it's at a better price. It's a little more affordable if you want to go deep and buy a bunch of them and really carry you through the season with a smaller number of sticks.
I like what you said about the HD3. You mentioned it, that when we do the testing of our product, you also test it against our competitors' product at the various price points. So you touched on it a little bit, that the HD3, the durability on it is superior to a lot of the competitors. Is that what I gathered from what you said?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's actually lighter than a lot of the sticks that are at that price.
Oh, that's great.
You know, we're not necessarily striving to be the lightest stick at any particular price, but certainly at that price, it's a popular, it's just a popular category for a lot of hockey players. So to be that's in the hunt, but then even on the lighter side, it's perfect. And we really what's even a higher priority than the weight for us at that price is that durability and the dependability. So we look at the shaft strength for impact, for bending. So that's just a straight bending test. How flexible is it under certain loads, and how far can it go before it breaks? And then the blade as well. So the durability of we have separate tests for everything. We look at how durable the bottom of the blade is, the heel. For repetitive impact, we look at abrasion tests. We've got tests that bend the blade. We've got tests that twist the blade. So we can look at all these different mechanisms, and then we look at what else is out there. So we'll pick up some competitor sticks and just make sure that we've got something that is comparable or better than what else is out there. It's important for us to always strive to be better, and that's how we do it.
That's great. I'm glad we talked about this, Isaac, because honestly, everyone expects our product to be high performance, give you the benefit on the ice, and we talk about power unleashed, and the marketing guys we add all these romantic things and concepts to the product, but really what it comes down to, like you said, is that a player wants the dependability and the durability out of their stick when they buy it, as well as the performance. They want to make sure that they buy the stick, they like the performance out of the stick, but they want to make sure that they have it for a good amount of time. So I'm glad that you brought up the various different testing methods that you guys use on that product. As we go through the HD4 and HD5, I'll tell it to our viewers out there. I mean, we continue down the line with the HD, with the hyperdrive technology and the HD4 and the HD5. So you're going to be getting that enhanced kick zone, no matter how much money you spend on the stick, all the way through the line. And then, as Isaac said, we have tremendous value as you go through the line as well. Whether we're the lightest stick in that category at that price point, but also the most durable, tested, and also made sure that we're testing it against our competitors, that you're going to get, like I said, a high-performing stick with those durability features built into it. So that's certainly something that's great to talk about on those. Let's talk a little bit. We have some new things coming out on the stick in the neighborhood of patterns this year, right? This is a new pattern that's been added to the line. I talked a little bit about some of the feedback that we've been getting on social, and a lot of people were saying that, why is Carlson taking over social media? Why is Carlson taking over the Warrior Instagram feed? Well, Carlson took over our pattern list as well, right, Isaac?
That's right. It's a funky one too. We put it out there with a lot of the testers, and it's definitely unique. But I mean, for what it is, and for guys who are looking for that, it's perfect.
Yeah, the Carlson pattern, for a lot of people out there, you guys already kind of know it. It's a pattern that's already been on the market. One of our competitors had it out there, and we figured, hey, let's not let them have all their cake on that one. So a lot of kids out there will know it as a P38 Datsuk. So it's the same pattern. It's a clone of that pattern that CCM Reebok put out. And we call it, I think we have a better name for it, although Datsuk is a pretty good player, W16 Carlson. So Carlson is the new W16, and it is modeled off that P38. There's a lot of kids out there that like that pattern and like the feel of it and the way it works. So if you are a current user of that pattern, you can come over and try a Warrior stick now, because we have the same curve. So that gives it right to you.
Ours is better.
Ours is better. Yeah, our curve is on a better stick, so that's going to be, so that's just going to give you that much better, that much more performance. If you wanted to really feel the power of a HD or the hyperdrive, now you don't have an excuse. So some other patterns that we've introduced, Isaac, recently, the W28 and the W71 Pacioretty, those are really starting to gain steam, aren't they? Is that kind of the trend now?
I think it is. I mean, here in our design office, we have the luxury of seeing a lot of the pro patterns that come through here as well. And we get a steady stream of sticks that are coming in from guys in Europe and in North America. So we get to see a little bit of where things are trending, and I would say that's certainly true. There was a day where everything was going heel curve, and there was just every variation of heel curve wedge that you could think of, and it's certainly starting to turn around. In addition to the oncoming of softer flexes, we're also seeing a lot more of those, like especially the Pacioretty curve, where a lot of guys are gravitating towards that, and different variations of that, which I think point to a different type of game, more control, and then I don't know if it's a different way of shooting necessarily, but it's certainly a different style compared to the heel curves and that type of shot.
We're lucky enough, and I know what room you're sitting in right now. I know that in that room that you're sitting in, over or to your, I guess it's your right.
Right over here.
Yeah, there is our entire pro library of every pro pattern we've ever built, and every mold that we've ever made. So there's how many different pro patterns are there, Isaac?
I think we're up to about 3,000.
3,000?
Yeah, we're in the 3,000 to 4,000 area now.
Holy cow! So there's over 3,000 different curves there, folks. And
there might be a couple of duplicates, but there's 3,000 unique curves, and some of them reach back pretty far. I mean, we've got Sergei Fedorov and Scott Stevens, and some of these curves are for players that we didn't even make sticks for, but we might have made a mold for them. And
right.
Obviously, all of our current players, a lot of guys like to tinker with their blades, so we've got different versions of Yakupov blades where he likes to just try a little more of this or a little more of that, round the toe a little bit, or twist, give it a little more twist. So we've got every variation that you can imagine, but they still just keep coming. There's always new curves coming.
It's one of those things that'll never end, right? Like, it's not just going to stop one day. The beauty of, and that's just what Isaac just said, is the beauty of having our design office and our pro office in the same office is the fact that we get to see all the new trends for curves coming through, and that's really what helps us build these new patterns for our retail. Like the W71 Pacioretty that we just launched last year was one of those trends that we started seeing, right? Like it's one of those trends we started seeing in pro, that more pros were starting to use it, and so they kind of gave us an idea saying, hey, well, if pros are starting to gravitate towards it, then we should offer it to some of the kids out there. Same with W28 too, I think, the W28 Yakupov, right?
Yeah, you guys do a great job keeping tabs in the marketplace, and the forums, and even the shops, and down at the tournaments, you see what kids are passing around and what they're getting off of the pro stock channels. So that generates quite a bit of buzz as well, and some pretty good intel. And even Yakupov's a great example where we're starting to see a lot of players sending us sticks. They say, well, can you make me a custom curve? And the blade gets here, and it's just a stock Yakupov or even a patch already. This kid thinks it's custom because it's got his name on it, but we're able to outfit him with the stick that he wants. We'll customize a stick for him, and then we have that blade available. And it's definitely taken off and kind of created its own thing.
Yeah, one of the players we knew was Alex Steen this year. He went from, like you said, one of those older heel curves, and he was using one of Carlson's patterns, which is the W28. And he said, yeah, I'm going to start trying this, and it's a whole different curve. And he tried it earlier in the season, and he loved it, and he started scoring some goals with it. So it's amazing how that curve will change things for a lot of the players. We got into this curve talk because I was going through some of the specs of the new line, just so you guys know, since it is launch day today. The HD1, here's another special spec from the HD1. We offer it in a 63-inch, we call it senior long, so 63-inch. The normal senior length is 60 inches. So that 63-inch long version is offered in 100 flex and 85 flex in our two most popular patterns, W88 and W03. Isaac, can you talk a little bit about why we offer the senior long and kind of the thought that goes around that?
Mm-hmm. Well, we're the only ones that do it, and we see a huge amount of players. Just in my line of work, with working with testers and working with professional players in along different degrees in the colleges. There's a lot of guys that can't use a 60-inch stick, and most sticks are 60 inches. Even at 61 inches, you're still cutting out a key group of players that, for whatever reason, they're not always taller guys, but these guys like a longer stick. So in order to suit every type of gameplay that we can without offering everything, we find that it's really helps us helps the players to be able to have that option of using a 63-inch stick, because at certain flexes and with certain blades at the lower lies, it's really a necessity to have that longer stick. So 63 inches is really the number that we felt was the magic number. There's some guys that need it even longer than that, but I guess they have to buy a wood plug or something.
No, we offer a composite plug. Remember Excuse me. We'll sell you a composite plug, sir. No problem. So as we go through the line, the HD Pro, a lot of the HD Pro spec is based off of some of the specs we have to sell to those CHL and NCAA players, and those, some of those guys are big boys. We offer a long in the 110 flex. Oh no, they're all long. Sorry,
they're all long.
Yeah, so they're all 63 inches, and that that makes sense for a lot of those. I mean, there's most of the players in. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Are most of the players in college and NCAA like in the 5'11" and up range, or 6 foot and up?
I think so. I mean, we do a lot of work with the Air Force Academy, where they tend to be shorter because they have to fit in the cockpit of an airplane. But for the rest of the guys, I'd say that's absolutely true. I mean, guys are getting bigger, and at that college age, some of them, there's some big dudes, but a lot of them are just tall and skinny as well. So you're getting a lot of demand from that side, where we've got to have something that's longer. And in some cases, we go. I say our most common. There's between 61 or 60, 63, and then even 65. 65 is not that uncommon for what we need to supply at that college level.
Holy cow, that's a big boy. One of the things that it should be said on the HD Pro, we had a ton of success with the QR Pro. And that kind of translated to offering this model of product as well. We sold it very well, and there's probably a lot of people watching this video and listening in on this that bought the QR Pro last year. There's a lot of things that they can expect that's the same in this new product, right, Isaac? Like built in Mexico and built in, built with the same type of Pro line quality of stick, right? The performance. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very closely related to what we sell at the top level. Like you said, with the QR Pros, we just couldn't make enough of them. And it was the first time that we really concentrated on that team sector in a way that We knew what we were doing in terms of concentrating on that, but I think we were a little bit surprised at how many players weren't getting access to that all of a sudden were, and they were really interested in getting that QR Pro and using that. So we definitely carried that into the development of the HD. We wanted to have something that was very comparable and neck with that HD1 performance, but that we could get in at a lower price and really service that area of the market where they're buying a lot more sticks, and they're buying fewer sticks, and they want them to last even longer throughout the season than like a professional player who's using the HD1 level type stick.
So as we go into the HD3, I just want to talk about our offering, because I think that's certainly an advantage that we have in the marketplace. In the HD3, and again, folks out there, you guys can put pressure on your local Warrior dealer. If we have it in our catalog, or if we have it online, we can get it for you. Your dealer can get it for you. So we offer 4 patterns in the HD3. The 4 most popular patterns, of course, the W01, the W03, that Pacioretty curve, that huge hook, and then the W88, which is also a very popular pattern. But I think the most important thing about this is that we offer, in senior, we offer 100 flex, 85 flex, and 75 flex. When you get to intermediate, we offer 70 flex and 55. And then when you get to junior, we offer 50 and 40. That's a very progressive step up in flex. And we also, because we offer those specialized flexes in intermediate and junior, it makes for a very big difference for some of those players. I didn't show you, I will now though, one of the nice features of the HD line is as you go through it, in the junior, we add a little bit of flavor. We add a little bit of color to the stick. So you'll see here on the HD3 Junior, we added a red blade, a red painted blade. And the reason we do that is because we know that the kids love Warrior sticks and the color that we bring. The senior, you'll see, is a little bit more, I guess you want to say, pro-looking. So if there's a player that's, playing, whether it be, let's say, in a men's league, or if you're, you think you're going pro, or you want to look like the pros on the ice there, you get that nice look in the HD3 Senior. But then when you move into the junior for the little guys, we know the little guys expect a little bit more disco from from Warrior. I guess I shouldn't say disco. I'm dating myself. But they look for a little bit more flair from us. So the junior is offered in that colorway with the red down on the bottom. When you get down to the HD4 price points, we offer those in 85 flex and 75 flex. 70 and 50 flex for the intermediate and junior respectively. We offer the color change in the junior so that the kids can get that. And then when you get all the way down to the HD5, with the opening price point model that we offer 4 patterns in that. We offer 85 and 50, 75 flex, 55 flex in intermediate, and 40 flex in junior. So we know that if you're a beginner type of player and you're just getting into hockey, we know you're not going to spend $200 on a stick. Really, you shouldn't. So if you buy an HD5 stick, you're going to get a product that has the hyperdrive technology in it. It's going to help you out. I mean, you're going to need all the help you can get. You're learning how to skate and learning how to shoot at the same time. I mean, that's a lot to learn. But I think more importantly is that we offer those sticks in the lower flexes for whatever size you get. So in senior, we offer it in 75 flex, and a lot of beginners need a little bit more help on flex because they can't really get all their weight into the stick or really load the stick. And then in the junior, for example, we offer a 40 flex. So that's really nice for a beginner to really optimize the flex in their stick. So that's really the rundown on the new Dynasty HD line. Isaac, I'm not sure if I should have asked you any more questions, but I think you gave us a lot of really good information on it.
Sure. Well, it's fun to talk about. I could talk about sticks all day long.
I know.
It's fun to do this and find out, what kind of questions you have or anyone else, because it's interesting to look at it through the eyes of someone else, and there's a lot that people don't know about how we make certain sticks or why we make them a certain way. So it's neat to be able to enlighten people. It's one of the things that you mentioned this earlier about getting your dealer to to carry the stick that you're looking for. And the reason I think it really resonates with me because I find myself a lot meeting kids or parents or players who ask me questions about, well, how come you guys don't make this or how come you guys don't make that? And we do. They can't, or they don't have it. They haven't seen one.
Yes, yes.
Carry it, or it's just their local guy doesn't have it. So it's
a unicorn.
Yeah. There's so many things that we can do, and we do try to package it into something that's going to be popular for the masses, but at the same time, that feedback loop and understanding what people are liking and not liking really helps us build better product. And the more we can get out there, the faster we can improve it.
Well, that's a very good point, Isaac, and I'm glad you brought it up because we are probably gonna get more questions for you after this chat publishes. Stay tuned, everyone, and if you are watching it on YouTube already after we did this live, if you do have any questions for Isaac, please add them in the comments section below this video. Add it to that area, and what we're going to do is we're going to compile all those questions, and we're going to get those questions to Isaac. If you have, we want you to stump him. We want you to come up with the most ridiculous technical question you can come up with, and Isaac won't be stumped. He's been doing this way too long. So put together whatever question you want to ask him, hockey stick related, not about El Nino or anything like that. So hockey stick related and composites related, especially if you want to know more about the Dynasty HD line. We'll get that question to Isaac. If we can't answer it ourselves, Isaac will answer it for us, and we'll get you the answers you need to hopefully close the deal and get you into a new Dynasty HD stick. We know it's the best stick. Isaac tested it. Isaac designed it with the team down there. We know it's the best mid-kick stick ever made. So get out there and get us your questions. Whatever we need to do, we will get you to buy one. So please ask Isaac the questions. He's a busy man, but he's going to answer them.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, if we could even, we may find ourselves learning something from that as well. If there's something that we got to dig up some dirt on, and dig into the archives. There's a lot of interest in that. So definitely welcome whatever they can throw at me. That's going to be informative and educational.
Yeah, keep it clean. Keep it clean, everyone. This is YouTube.
Yeah, it's the family.
This is a respectable environment.
It's a family-owned company.
The forum is family-owned. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Isaac, and we'll talk to you soon.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. So, DT, what is going on with our friend in Canada?
Unfortunately, we are having some very severe connectivity issues, and it doesn't look like Chris is going to be able to join.
Let's blame Canada on this one. Sorry, Canada.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the internet isn't strong enough, or
whoa! Hold on.
No.
They have the internet in Canada.
No, that's not what I meant. But we've discussed the broadband issues with Chris before.
Yes, we have. Let's all for the audience right now. Chris is traveling. Chris, my cohort here in the office, he is traveling through Canada, and he has not been able to connect with us here on the Google Hangout. And he was going to talk about our new helmet. So, thinking on my feet, on my own 2 feet, I'm going to walk you guys through the PX3 helmet and the features, since today is also Krown PX3 launch day.
And we should note that we had to say goodbye to the Periscope viewers.
Oh, yeah, goodbye, Periscope viewers.
Because my phone died. Sorry.
We got cut off midstream because of battery issues.
Yeah, no, we were able to get all the way through Isaac's interview.
Oh, we were?
Yeah. So hopefully you heard some of Isaac, but you may have not heard some of Isaac. But it will be available to view on Periscope, but we had to cut it off because my phone died. But if you were on Periscope and didn't hear Isaac, watch it here, and you'll hear it. So,
excellent.
Yeah. So yes, on to the PX3. Sorry Chris did not join us. He is cursing Google as we speak.
Shaking his fist.
But so yeah, let's get on to the helmet. We've got a couple of questions about the helmet already.
Okay. Well, let me go through. I'll go through the general features of the helmet first, and then we'll roll into it.
Before we do that, one question to wrap up 6. Someone asked about historical patterns, and please explain how we do change. We have to change patterns every once in a while because we have to evolve the line.
Did this question happen to? Did they talk about the particular pattern that they were talking about? Or?
The Kovalchuk pattern.
Kovalchuk. Oh, wow. Okay. So, yes, I will address this. Can you cut your mic out, DT? Thank you. So, I will address this. I don't want to say once and for all, but that's so. Yes, patterns come in and out of our line, and usually those patterns come in and out of our line based on sales. It's unfortunate. It's something that every year when we're coming out with a new line of product, we look at the sales that we've had on the prior year for all of our patterns and all of our flexes in our offering, and we really tie in and dial in our offering every year. What has happened in the last few years is there's, like Isaac was mentioning, there's pattern trends. So there's trends that go up and down on different patterns, and plus we want to be ahead of a lot of trends as well. So what happens is there's a lot of patterns that remain popular through the years. For example, W03, #1 selling pattern. W01, it's surprising, but that straight, pattern. We used to have the name on it, Burroughs. Now it's Lupul. That pattern sells quite a bit. It's in a lot of stores, and a lot of people buy it. I don't know who. I don't use it myself, but it's something that sells. W88 is our #3 pattern. That thing is very popular. It's been popular for a number of years. The W88, and in particular to this question, is very close to the W08. So the Kovalchuk. So what has happened was when we came out with W88, a lot of the sales shifted from W08 to W88. That then really affected the popularity of the W08, and because we saw it as a very repetitive pattern. Now I know W08 guys, it's not the same, but our dealers and our consumers were buying the W88 over the W08. So because of that, sales waned, and of course it started falling lower and lower in popularity, and then it went off the cliff, and we took it out of the line. Another pattern that people have been yelling at us about over the years has been the Gianta pattern. That pattern went crazy when we first launched it. I can't remember now. I think it was in 2010, back when I was a product manager. So that blade was a great blade. I used it for a little while myself. It was a great pattern. It was modeled after Pavel Dimitra's Pro pattern, Pro curve, and that one started to wane as well in popularity. One of the patterns that replaced it or that came in for it was the W28. So, sorry, I'm making noises here. So the W28 helped to replace that one as well. The popularity of the Gianta went down, 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 and then finally, like I said, fell off the cliff. So, yeah, there are a lot of patterns. I mean, there's another pattern now that we're actually we're thinking about bringing back because there has been popularity by one of our larger dealers that they said that they're going to order a bunch of them. They see a lot of popularity coming back. I'm not going to share that information just yet. Or actually, should I? Is it already in this pattern? No, it's not. But anyway, we're bringing a pattern back. Sorry. I know I'm like all over the place. But there has been one of those patterns that will be coming back, a way back pattern. So we do listen. We do. It does influence us on when dealers buy it and bring it in. So yes, we are cognizant of that. Hold on a second. My battery is dying. I need to plug in. So what should we do? Should we end it? No. Technical difficulties. 1 second, everyone.
Yes. Well, this has gone longer than we expected.
Yes, it has.
So we seem to be running low on battery power.
Yes, we are.
All over the room.
All over the place.
So why don't we end it for today?
Okay.
And
yeah, we'll do the stick. We'll do the helmet later.
We can do the helmet next week.
Yeah, that sounds great.
But to answer the quick question on the helmet that we did have come through on this one.
Yes.
The adjustability on the helmet is simply the 4-play dial.
Yes, it's very similar to what we've had in the past. It's our 4-play dial. So if you see it right here, it's still the same movement front and back. It goes back and forward. One thing to mention, though, it's very different this year because the helmet itself locks in. So the dial locks as it runs through. So you won't get like that loose feel from the past. I'm not sure if that was related to your question, but this is really the adjustment point for the PX3 because of the way our shells move together. This is the point at which all those shells come together to move them in or to move them out. So sorry about that, everyone. Sorry about the technical difficulty we had in not getting Chris. We will come out again, and now we know how to do this. This was the first. So we really appreciate you getting on here. We're going to have a contest next week. We're going to give away a stick. So let us know. The way you enter this contest is you leave a comment down below on the bottom of this YouTube video. Ask us a question or give us some feedback on this podcast, or not podcast, what am I saying? This VCast or this live stream of the launch day for Power Unleashed. Leave your feedback with us, and that'll enter you into our contest. We'll announce a winner next week, and you'll win a brand new Dynasty HD1 stick. We'll send you a free stick. Again, always follow us on Twitter at Warrior Hockey. Follow us at Instagram at WarriorHKY, and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Warrior Hockey. Ask us questions throughout this launch. If you want to ask us questions, you're in a store and you're looking at a Dynasty HD1 and you have a question for us, just tweet to us. Use the hashtag DynastyQA. We'll answer the question for you. If you're standing in a store and all of our Warrior dealers are glad to help you, ask one of those guys too. But if you can't find any sales rep in the store to help you out with your question, tweet to us and we'll answer it for you right away and give you an answer about it. If you're doing research at home about the Dynasty, tweet to us, write us a comment on Facebook or comment to us on Instagram. We answer those questions right away. We really appreciate everything you guys have been doing for us out there. The VIPs, I love you. You guys have been awesome. I'm going to say goodbye now, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you.